Would guidance from an expert help you to grow your business or career? Or do you seek inspiration for you or your kids? If so, welcome. Behind the Words TV gives you that one-on-one time with famous and emerging authors or content creators. They'll take you where you want to go. Behind the Words TV. Welcome back to Behind the Words TV. I'm with Lisa Pelto of Concierge Marketing and Book Publishing today, and we're going to talk next about things like what kinds of books that she creates with and for her clients, and how to consider the right format for those. Lisa, it's a big topic. What kinds of books do you create for people? Is it all novels?
Not all novels.
Not all novels.
No,
Okay.
It really depends on what the person's market is wanting. So we look at, what's right for that specific book. Do we need a full color book? Do we need a children's book with illustrations, hardcover? Do we need a paperback 6x9 trade size? Should we be doing an audiobook? We look at all those things. How are people most likely to be enticed to buy that book? So today, and again, it's a lot of things changed during the pandemic. Now, well, in the past, you used to release them in a staggered fashion. Now, we put them all in
fashion?
Staggered.
Oh, okay.
Do the hardcover, then the paperback,
okay.
then the
Gotcha.
ebook, then the audio.
The same book you're talking
Same
about.
book,
Right, okay.
same title. We'll do them all at the same time because people have changed their behavior. They want what they want when they want it, and if they don't find it, they move on to the next thing.
Good point.
So,
So it's a blitz you're talking about.
Yeah.
If you have a cop story, you release it. I mean, tell me the different formats. There's audio, paperback, hard copy. Tell me what's
lots of
I mean,
different
there's
ones,
so
but
many
yeah,
choices. I'm
there
so
are.
confused.
Well, that is one thing that is good about working with somebody that's done a lot of books.
Yes, yes.
A lot of the business out there has.
I'm going to interrupt you right there. We haven't talked about that. How long have you done this, author services, and about how many books have you done for people?
Well, November 2022 is my 18th anniversary.
18th anniversary.
Of my own corporation.
Wow.
But I also, prior to that, I worked for Boys Town Press, which was, we did a ton of projects,
Another
dozens
publishing.
and dozens and
Yeah.
dozens of publishing for families and parents and that.
So in 18 years, approximately how many authors have you taken from napkin to marketplace?
In my company, we've done well over 1,000.
1,000.
Yeah.
1,000 books.
Yep.
1,000 authors have seen the light of day and formed their own.
1,000 books.
1,000
A lot
books.
of about 80% of our clients do more than one
Oh,
book.
well, that's awesome.
More than one title.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back to what we were talking about. That of those 1,000 authors, I mean, what formats are they in?
Right now, today, when we release a memoir, for example, we'll do a paperback, a hardcover, an audiobook if we can convince the person that it is a huge market right now.
Really?
So,
Yeah,
it's
audiobooks
huge.
is hot.
And it's also gotten much easier because it is also in a similar platform as the print, where we can do it print on demand. There's a whole system that's connected to
Audio
Amazon.
on demand.
Yeah,
Okay.
audio, yeah.
Interesting.
We don't need CDs and DVDs anymore.
Right.
So it really depends. The part of the product development of the last chapter that we talked about with the marketing is creating a format that is right for that specific story, that specific genre,
I can see
the
that.
price point,
Yeah.
that audience. Do they want to stick it in a diaper bag? Do they want to carry it in? Do they want to have it on their shelves?
As an extreme example, I mean, are there books that might be just better as an audiobook?
Absolutely. We did a book not too long ago that was about doing exercises in a car. While you drop the child off at soccer or whatever, then you're
that's
sitting in the
funny.
car for 30 minutes.
Well, but that's perfect.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
didn't need a paper book. They needed
People
a
don't have
audio
time
book.
to read. They don't have time to sit down and read something for 8 hours. But if they're in the car or exercising or cooking or whatever, yeah, well, I can see the value. I think that people aren't thinking. A lot of people don't think about that yet, especially people maybe over 40 or 50 years old. Don't think in traditional book format. They don't think about that audio might be the best way to bring their information to the market.
Audiobooks have grown a huge percentage over the last probably 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
You know, maybe 600% year over year. I mean, it's
Wow.
it's enormous.
Wow.
And
Well, and they're often cheaper for the consumer too, right?
well, they on various platforms they have them as a subscription, so you get a
Okay.
credit and you can buy an audiobook
Okay.
during that month.
Okay.
I even listen. If you turn on my car anytime, I have an audiobook on.
Yeah, of
all
course,
the time.
of course you do.
Yeah, not always the ones that I've done, but things that are in genres that are competing or whatever I want to look at.
Okay. Well, what other formats have you created for your authors? I've heard audiobooks. I've heard paperbacks. I saw the hard copy memoir there and
Yeah.
children's books. Show us,
we do.
show us some stuff.
You know, some of our children's books, you know, they're small, close to the size that a child would see at Scholastic book fairs.
Okay.
You know, and that these are two of our newer ones. And then, for example, this one went over so well that she created a picture book
Peanut butter
with the
jelly.
same characters.
Yeah.
This one just has a couple of pictures in it.
And this
so
one is that
and
went
this
into a
one's
picture book.
fully
so-
illustrated. There is a hardcover.
And you can
of
help
this
a
too.
person come up with an artist, come up with the
Yep.
graphics and all that.
And sometimes we really have authors that want to work locally, and there's a ton of really local, really talented book illustrators. But the important thing on that is to hire somebody that is a book illustrator, not your son
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
really good at painting.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
You know, any of those. That's a good way to not have a friend or a relationship.
Well, there's certain digital requirements that
Yep.
for the Amazon or whatever.
It's not just that too. It's really the responsibility that they're taking on. The people that are good artists or whatever, they'll always accept it. Oh yeah, Aunt
Oh, yeah.
Helen, I'll do that. And then they don't realize, okay, Aunt Helen's spending a lot of money to publish her book, and now I better hit that deadline.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and they don't really always know what they're talking about.
Sure,
so
sure. Tell us
this-
about that book.
So this book, a little girl. I do a lot of farmers markets, and
Exhibiting with your books, yeah.
exhibiting other people's books. I always have an author with me.
Right.
So
I've done one.
Yeah, yeah.
It was great.
So a little girl walked up and she had bought, over the course of the summer, she had bought everything that we had for children, and she said, she's 6 years old.
Okay.
She said, how come you don't have a book? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
So-
you're selling everybody else's books, but not your own.
So
yeah.
she sat down with me and I said, what do you like to do at the farmer's market? We'll write a book about that. And so
Okay,
she
awesome.
gave me some ideas. And
You interviewed the customer at
Yep.
the kids' level. That's
so the
perfect.
children's book, I wrote it that afternoon, 2 hours.
Yeah.
After that, we did about 30 hours of editing.
Wow. Yeah.
Because
wow.
when I got if you really add them up.
Yeah, I guess.
But I sent my manuscript to the artist and said, are you interested in this? And by Monday, she said, interested. I've already done 7 illustrations.
Oh my. Okay.
So Paula Wallace down at Hot
So
Shops.
again, you know people
Yep.
and you're connected, and you can create for your own book, artwork, or somebody
Yep.
else's book.
I learned a lot
Yeah,
doing this too,
yeah.
having my own thing. It was different having my own versus bossing people around all the time.
Yeah, you had to sit in the hot seat, your own hot seat.
Yeah,
So,
so-
any other formats out there that are popular that you guide people toward or away from?
Well, it really kind of depends. Like here, you do have to know before you hire an illustrator what size your book is going to be, because these
Okay.
illustrations would be different sizes.
Right.
So we've, there's literally hundreds of different sizes. We've done one the size of a diaper.
And now, how did you decide, for instance, whether this children's book should be hard copy and this one's not?
Well, I only brought those. All our children's books are in both
Both formats. Okay.
formats.
Okay.
Because some children, some families want a hardcover. Grandmas are always wanting a hardcover. Teachers, you'd think they would want a hardcover, but they always want a paperback,
Interesting.
because a lot of times they're spending their own money.
Oh, well, that's
So
true.
whenever
too,
you
yeah.
can buy a book for a teacher, always think about them.
Well, as we wrap up, how do I decide how do you help me as an author decide what format to use for my book?
We're looking at a lot of things in a nonfiction, like a memoir or something. We're looking at how long the memoir is, as far as, because it makes a difference in how many pages it's
Right,
going to be.
right.
Everything in the book manufacturing business is based on pages.
Okay.
So,
Got it. Yeah, my pages aren't high, whereas some
Yep.
pages are
Yep.
hundreds and hundreds of pages.
With a
so-
children's book, we usually like to plan a picture book to be 32 pages, because in the print industry,
That's pretty standard.
It's standard because they print it in 2 16-page signatures, fold it up and stick it in the book to bind it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Lots of detail, lots of choices. I'm glad I have had the benefit of Lisa's guidance for my books, and it's great to have a coach when there's so many choices out there, and a lot of things need to be part of the mix, don't they? So thanks for joining us on this segment of Behind the Words TV with Lisa Pelto of Concierge Marketing.